Hello lovely people, it's Nicola and this is the Stitches and Slapdashery deck. Not in the sewing room right now, obviously. It's about 9 o'clock in the evening on a Thursday, just a random Thursday in June. It's pretty warm. It's about 25 degrees out here. That's Celsius, obviously. And yeah, not boiling hot, but still enough to get a little bit dewy. Went out for a walk, shall we say. So, apologies for the traffic noise. There's a fairly major artery road just about half a kilometre away from here, so you might hear some cars and motorcycles and all that stuff. So I've been getting a little bit lazy on the walking just lately because Mr. Stitches got that fractured bone in his foot. So for a couple of weeks I was going out for walks on my own and I wasn't going as far as we normally go when we're together. But today I did a good long walk and I'm going to have to stay motivated because on Monday he got on a plane to go visit his family and mine. He'll visit with my family too because they all live in the same island over in the British Isles. And so he's gone for over a month. So it's just me and the boys for a little while, which actually is quite nice because it means I don't have to fret too much about making dinner every day. I've warned them. I said, don't expect me to cook every night. You know, they're big boys now. They're late 20s, early 30s, and they can definitely fend for themselves. So on Monday, I dropped him off at 8 o'clock at the airport, and my shift didn't start till 10, so I went and had a coffee at Starbucks for a while and read my library book. I inhaled a quite enjoyable novel by Stephen King called, what's it called? Never Flinch, I think it's called. So I enjoyed that. And I actually wanted to finish it quicker, but had to get some sleep that night. I got home from work mid-afternoon and I just sat on the couch and read, and then had some leftovers for dinner and then read. But at 10 o'clock, I had to cut myself off. Tuesday and Wednesday were quite long shifts, 6.5 hours. And so Tuesday night, as soon as I finished work, I went around to one of my favorite little restaurants and I bought myself dinner. So that was nice. And then on Wednesday, which was yesterday, I finished again at 5:30, and then I had to go to the supermarket because I had invited some friends around for today. I promised them ice cream sundaes for lunch, so I went and bought 4 different non-dairy ice creams. And I got a couple of different plant-based milks. I thought, they're on sale. So I picked up an oat and an almond, just for variety. And I also got some ingredients for a butterscotch sauce. So this morning, of course, freshened up the bathrooms in the kitchen. Got the fruit ready, which was nectarines, bananas, and strawberries. Chopped up some chocolate, put out some nut mix, and then made this butterscotch sauce. I'll have to see if I can find the recipe again. I just Googled for it and I screenshot the recipe ingredients and just remembered that the instructions were toss everything in a saucepan and boil it for 5 minutes. So I don't know if I can remember where I found it, but if I find it again, I will definitely link it under the video because it was delicious. Just behind me in these red planters here, usually we put geraniums in there, but we've got herbs in there this year. I've got, let's see, I think I've got thyme, parsley, rosemary, sage, 2 kinds of basil, oregano. And it's so nice. Every now and again, you just come out and you snip off a little bit to go in your dinner. And it's just really, really pleasant. And what is that buzzing around my head? Good grief. I'm not sure what that was, but it was a very large buzzy insect. So yes, as I was saying, fresh herbs are awesome. So yeah, the week has flown by. I did get a little time in my craft room doing a little bit of decoupage the other day. And as soon as I can, I will be getting in there for a good session of making something. Don't know what it'll be yet, but you'll be seeing it later in this video. And I forgot to say, as I was out walking, I was feeling kind of happy because I realized I had a me-made outfit on. I have this linen top on, and I have some wacky harem type pants in black and white that are so comfortable and cool for this time of the year. And I was even carrying this little mushroom bag that I test crocheted for somebody. It's the perfect size for carrying my phone when I don't have pockets. And it's got my little mushroom stitch marker type thing hanging off it. Really love it. While my friends were here, I gave them each a little tiny felt house magnet, and they were absolutely delighted with them. And also, while I was waiting from the shop this morning, I made another one because apparently I can't stop. Okay, that's it for now. I'll be back shortly. It's Friday morning. I have my second cup of tea of the day, and it's a monster. I've slipped back into using an IKEA beer mug for my Yorkshire tea. It won't last. It's just for a while. I used to use this every day, but I really prefer a slightly smaller mug, which is a bit more exciting than a clear glass one. These ones are really not made for heat. We found that when we use them in the long term for hot drinks, they do suddenly shatter. And it's probably because they've got such a thick base, and also that they're designed for cold liquid, not hot. So it helps put a teaspoon in before you pour in the hot water. So I pulled out my diamond painting that I started last week. I've just got 2 colours to go. I've just started on R, which is the lightest yellow outside, on the outside of the petals, and I've got to do the background, which is white, which is just the A's, no, the 4s. But I don't know why, but I thought it would probably be a good idea to put this protective thing back down firmly onto the top of this so that the sticky area didn't dry out. Well, it ended up sticking down so well I could barely get it off again, and I think I might have accidentally dislodged some of the sticky stuff. So I'm really hoping that my little gems stick okay. If they don't, I might have to add something, a little something to make them stick, which is a bit irritating. So I'm trying not to, I've taken the whole thing off, the whole plastic off, and I'm trying not to touch the sticky area on the outside as I'm applying the gems. But, you know, when I do this, I have to have my little tray of gems, and I have to put them on the table, and I'm literally looking at it from about 6 inches away because my vision is so bad. Let me see if I can turn you down and you can see me do it a little bit. Ooh, vibration, vibration. There. Look at that. You can see that, can't you? Just about. So while we're talking, let's talk about the solstice. I love the winter solstice. It's the darkest time of the year. Ooh, that one says P, not R. Oops, that's going to have to need it. That's going to have a different colour. Oh, and that one's a P as well. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and put those in after. So I love the winter solstice. I love the dark time of the year. There's nothing better to me than getting into pyjamas early in the evening and snuggling under a crochet blanket to do more crochet or whatever, read a book, watch a show, anything in the winter. There's no pressure to go out and do anything. You can just chill out and be cozy
And I'm always a little pissed off that the solstice is just such a moment in time, right? As soon as it's the longest night, the shortest day, it's over and done with. And it happens in December, and then there's all that winter ahead of you, which I don't mind about the winter. I like the winter. But I just feel like I would love to have, say, a week of, what's the word I'm looking for? Really enjoying the fact that it's the darkest time of the year. Because as soon as you hit the solstice, it starts lightening up again. The days get longer. Before you know it, all those cozy nights are over. And then, in contrast, you've got the summer solstice, where obviously you've got light evenings, short nights, and I used to dislike that as well. I used to dislike that before you realised what was going on, the summer solstice was over, and then the nights were starting to get darker. And by August, by the time my birthday rolls around in August, it's getting dark at 8 o'clock again. So what I just wanted to say is, can we have the solstice, like be a week instead of just a day? Please and thank you. Oh, that didn't stick. Uh-oh. Why is that not sticking? It's sticking too well to my stylus. I have to get a little bit of this wax on the stylus. Just kind of dig in there. And then have it stick. I'm wondering if that's lost its glue. It's not sticking. I think some of the glue peeled off there. That is annoying. Very, very annoying. Well, I guess I'll know for next time. We're supposed to have a cooler week, which is nice. And then on Thursday, I am going to the coast with one of my kids and a friend for a festival on Vancouver Island. And it'll be cool, yeah. Long-term forecast says 18 degrees, which is very comfortable, especially if I decide that I want to wear my pink fleece onesie. There's a reason I want to wear a pink fleece onesie. A couple of years ago, if you were here, you will remember or may remember that I made pink fleece onesie with a little pigtail. And I made a hairband with some piggy ears attached, which I just winged, right? I just had to figure out what they should look like because there were no specific instructions online for that. And I wore the outfit to the festival that September. And yeah, I was a little bit warm, but mostly I survived. And it was so fun, very well received. But then last year, I ended up just doing tie-dye t-shirt and didn't bother with the onesie. But I think it would just be really fun to go back to the onesie. And the reason for the pig theme is that it's a vegan festival. And so I just wanted to have something that felt like it would fit. So I will take it with me and maybe I will get the chance to wear it. We had a meeting last night online with a few of us, a few of the organisers and volunteers, and we're making plans for meals and for what we need for snacks and drinks at the festival for the volunteers and all that sort of thing. Lots of last minute things to sort out. It's crazy how much work there is. And I'm very glad I'm not one of the I say I'm not one of the main organisers. I'm not one of the people right on the front line. Doing the silent auction raffle prize gathering is I don't feel it's not one of the frontline jobs, important as it is. But we're going to be helping. My son and I will be helping with the setup in the morning and at the end of the day, and we'll be manning a table during the day to give out information and stuff like that. And then hopefully there'll be lots of fun times outside of that where we can socialize with other people, like-minded people, and enjoy some good food, some laughs. I think it'll be great. I did figure out that the heart problems I was having, like the skipped beats and things like that, and the breathlessness, it's anxiety. I've never had anxiety symptoms like that before in my life. Usually I feel my stress in my solar plexus. I don't know about you, but I guess everyone feels their stress in a different place. But I'm used to feeling stress in my chest, as in a tight chest, feeling of, I don't know, feeling of doom. Maybe it's a feeling of doom, like a sinking feeling in your chest, or a tightness in your solar plexus, that sort of thing. But since I took on this auction job of doing 3 festivals instead of my usual one, I've had these palpitations, skipping beats, breathlessness, and I went to the doctor and he got it all checked out, and my heart is healthy, my blood pressure's fine, my heart rhythm is fine, except for the occasional skip beat. Feels frequent to me, but they said it's fine. I have decided it's anxiety. And when my friends were here yesterday, we had a good chat about it, and one of them was saying that, I can get medication just to help with that, just on a temporary basis. And I said, well, I don't think I need medication, because I'm pretty sure come September, when the stress is over, my symptoms will go away. Once the source of the stress is gone, I'll be fine. Is this something that appeals to you? Picking up tiny little pieces and sticking them on a background. I picked a small project so that if I hated it, I could push through and finish at least one coaster. But actually, I'm rather enjoying it. And you can put on a piece of music or a video, YouTube video or something, and just tap away. It's rather pleasant. Not something I ever thought I would do. I have to keep an eye on the time. I actually have an alarm set for 11 o'clock. I need to go out at 11:45. I need to drop something off at my friend's place. Oh, I missed one there. And I need to go to work. Right there. Okay, how's that? Did I get all the R's? There's a P and a P there, so that's what I need. So I'm going to tip my R beads into here. They don't provide enough little baggies with the set for all of the colours. This set has 4 flowers, and you get about 20 colours, and I think they only give you maybe 8 bags, something like that, which is a bit disappointing. One of the things I was a little concerned about with this diamond painting is if you didn't start in the right place and you find you painted yourself into a corner and you didn't have room to put some of the gems. But what I'm finding is that the sticky layer is quite thick, And when you push the gem down, you can manipulate it a little bit. Even if you drop it prematurely, slightly in the wrong place, you can sort of scoot it into place. And if it's really bad, you can just use your fingernail to pick it off and redo it. It's not hard. The main thing is, I think, to make sure that the lettering is covered up. The background is coloured, so any slight gaps are not obvious, but I can definitely see there's some areas where I have snugged them up well and where they're a bit more spaced out and don't look as good. But yeah, ideally, I think if the black lettering is covered, then that's the important thing. So, of course, being a crafter, I'm thinking of my trip later this week and thinking I really need to have some sort of project to take with me. So I may have to come up with a crochet project I can take. Even if I don't have much time to work on it, at least if I have it with me, be my little safety net in case I have a moment to myself. I will be doing most of the driving. I haven't looked up how many kilometers it is, but we have to drive probably about, let me see, 5 or 6 hours, including the breaks. Probably 6, including a break for coffee and a pee and all that sort of thing. And then we have to get the ferry across to Vancouver Island. And I'm going to be driving a rented SUV. So in one way, it's going to be a little scary for me because it'll be an unfamiliar car. But on the other hand, it'll be a new car. It'll be larger than mine, more comfortable, more bells and whistles, more space, an automatic. Mine is a manual. I did used to have an automatic, so I do know how to drive an automatic. And it means there will be no wear and tear on my own car. So that's nice. And I'm really hoping it has a backup camera. I've always wanted to try one of those. I've been a little bit of a nervous reverser ever since I backed out of my carport once and went straight into my husband's car, which was about 10 feet behind mine, and I forgot it was there. Yeah, he was really mad at me for that one. But it was quite understandable because I damaged the back of my car in front of his. Oh, what a silly me. That was a few years ago now, and I've been a bit nervous about backing up ever since. All of my diamonds are now stuck down, and I definitely did peel off some of the sticky stuff by mistake. So I ended up using a tiny, tiny bit of this gem tack because there was no other way I was going to get them to stick. I just used the wrong end of a paintbrush just to dab tiny bit on there. So there were maybe 4 or so gems just here. The glue is just drying at the moment, so it looks a bit whiter, but it'll dry clear. And there was another place where I had to use it and I can't see where it was. That's a good sign. So this is the cork backing, and the idea is you just peel off the sticky back on this and put it onto your coaster. And hopefully get it lined up straight away. Oh, that's interesting. It's actually smaller than the disc. Okay. No. I would have thought it would be the same size, but it's not. So that's fine. It just means that it won't stick out. Done. It's quite pretty. Now, I don't know whether people ever add anything to this, like a finishing layer of Mod Podge or something, just to seal everything. Because I can imagine it could get a little dusty in between the gems. Maybe I'll ask at work today. Someone will know. Sure, there's a few of them who have tried this craft before. So yeah, that's the first one all done. I have to show you the t-shirt I'm wearing today. It's my Pride t-shirt. It is still June, and it's one that Michael's was selling. And when they went on buy one, get one, I got two. I got one that was a medium, one was a large, and I wasn't really sure which size would be better for me. This is the medium. It's a little close fitting, but it works fine under my work vest. And the other one has a bit more room in it, but they are a bit long, I find. So I might have to, like, I don't know, trim off the bottom hem or something, mess about with them. I am tempted to buy some extra t-shirts, plain ones, to decorate for the festival coming up that I can wear during the day, but haven't convinced myself of that yet. Let me just show you a couple of things. This was the latest little fridge magnet, felt fridge magnet, that I made yesterday when I was waiting for my friends to show up at 11. But yeah, I'm just loving these so much. The other thing I've just made, I mentioned earlier about decoupage, and these massively lovely puzzle pieces came from my friend Annette, who's given me so much in the past, and I have decorated a couple before. This one, I decided to drill a hole in it, and I used magazine pages from a gardening magazine that says A Sweet Life, and then there's a random other little bits of text and pictures in there, and then the back one says unruly, because I just love the idea of being unruly. And then of course I Mod Podged it all, and I wanted to show you what I drilled a hole with. I finally figured out how to use this. It's not a Dremel, but it works like a Dremel. That seems to be like the catch-all term for it. It's a Milwaukee, but my son a while back gave me a whole box of bits and pieces for this thing. I had no idea what to do with it. It had a different attachment here before with a little sanding bit on it, and I rummaged around in here the other day, and I found a smaller thing that would hold this tiny, tiny little drill bit. You can only just see it. And then I figured out how to switch it on and make it go faster. And yeah, like a hot knife through butter. It's awesome. So that's what I used to drill the hole in there. And now I want to drill holes in all sorts of things. I want to test it on lots of different materials. The other thing is I have 2 new dishcloths, which I have not made. I am such a lover of hand knitted or crocheted dishcloths. I use them every day in my kitchen, and I have lots. But these 2 came from my friend Annette yesterday, and they are in a lovely squishy double seed stitch or double moss stitch with a garter border, and they're a lovely generous size for mopping up spills and wiping my countertops down, and I love them so much. Funny thing was, she brought the bag with her of her yarn and needles and was planning to make some more while she was here yesterday, but I think we were too busy talking and eating for that. None of us did any crafty stuff. And so when she pulled them out of her bag just before she left, they still had the tails on. So I had to weave the tails in myself, but that's fine. It took me only a minute. Since Mr. Stitches gave me all of these keys, a whole bunch of keys, which don't belong to anything, I've been wanting to make something with some of them. I also went through my sewing room crannies, nooks and crannies, and I found a giraffe thing. I have no idea where that's from. This is kind of a stitch marker, which I'm never going to use as a stitch marker. I've got jingle bells. I've got this really cool old piece of tech from inside, I don't know, a laptop or something.
another really cool shaped piece of motherboard type stuff. I have no idea where that's from. I know my kids gave me, my kids were going to put these in the recycling and I didn't let them do it, basically. I have some cord. I think I'm going to go with just the black bamboo cord. I was thinking wire, but if I make a mobile / wind chime, I want everything to be able to swing freely and clatter against each other. So the garden wire is going to go to the side for now. This is my jar of bag hardware, and I've pulled a few things out of there that I'm unlikely to ever need for bags. And then I've got these 2 bracelets that I got from Michael's long ago, and they're tarnished now. I think it was a pack of 3. The other one's probably upstairs somewhere. And I thought maybe I could put something on there and hang it off here. So thanks to my friend Annette again. She's such a help in my crafty life. I have this embroidery hoop, which I have just covered in black duct tape, like literally duct tape, which I think was also a purchase from Michael's. If you ever want colourful duct tape, this stuff, why am I so croaky? Excuse me while I have some water. This stuff comes in multiple colours, fun colours. Not sponsored. And I have some pairs of old Chinese scissors. They are steel. We used these in our kitchen for years and years and years. And of course, as the kids got older, they bitched about them long and hard because they said, why don't you have decent kitchen scissors? These just go rusty. Because I probably should have oiled them each time I used them, but I never did. So eventually I bought some new kitchen scissors because they went on clearance at work. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a pair of these as my central part of my wind chime? I'm going to have to figure out how to make something so that there's a center hanging part somehow. Yeah, not sure how to do that yet. So let's just put this aside for a minute. So I got my hot glue gun heating up because this does not have any visible holes for me to thread something through to hang it up. So I'm going to wrap it up gift parcel style and hopefully create some sort of hanging mechanism for it. So I'm just going to wrap a few times around here. And then I'm going to cross those 2 and then wrap around the other way. This is a nice little card of bamboo cord. I really like this one because it's variegated. I'm not sure how strong it's going to be. There's a good chance that after maybe a few months of hanging outside in the weather and being blown about like crazy, it might well fray through in places. But I can just replace whatever when the time comes. Let's cut this because it's getting a little crazy hanging up on everything here. So because you already had to sit through me yakking away while I was doing my diamond painting, I'm not going to yak through this entire project. I'm going to stop talking and just speed up the video so that you can watch what I do, but in multiple speed, whatever works. Well, that took a while. It's heavy, but that's okay. I did end up having to do some garden wire. I used my thick garden wire, which I used to use for nose pieces during COVID times and masks. Remember those times? And I put some in like a hexagon, divided it into 6 anyway, with these cross pieces so that I could have something to hang it by. And I also needed to do that so that I could see whether it was balanced. And in the end, I had to add a couple bits in strategic places to make it balanced. This one is bothering me because it's too long. And then I've gone, of course, I have duct taped everything down. So the knot is covered in duct tape. So maybe I will just wrap this around a few times to shorten it. Sorry about the racket. So I think it might jingle quite nicely when it's out in the wind. It probably will get very tangled. I remember we had wind chimes years ago. God, the neighbours must have been really loving us because they used to clang like crazy. And every now and again we used to have to go out on the deck and untangle them. Yeah, lots of danglies and lots of weight. So I'll get a little bit of footage outside when I've hung it up so you can see what it looks like hung up, because you can't really tell anything like this, can you? I used all of my black cord, which is why for the last little bit I had to use a tiny bit of this green garden wire to hold some keys together. I never did use the giraffe. I wonder if I could attach the giraffe to something just for laughs. I know what I can do. Don't worry, these are very old scissors. They're not my best fabric scissors. This wire should go through the hole in the giraffe quite nicely. Just to add a little bit of extra whimsy on there. Alright, that's that. So as usual, my sewing table is now a disaster. But you know what? That's a good thing, because it means I've been having fun again. So I'll try holding this up so you can get a look at it. But yeah, I'll pop upstairs on the deck afterwards. I'll hang this up and I'll show it to you what it looks like when it's actually where I want it to live. I have to put it down carefully because there's so much stuff on it, including a sharp pair of steel scissors. And that was a fun little bit of playtime. I have no idea what the time is now. I am going to take 2 of the boys at least, maybe all 3, out for a dinner tonight. So I need to check the time. I don't think we're getting quite to that time yet. I want to show you a couple of books I got from the library this week. A couple of weeks ago, I put a bunch of things on hold because I got all excited about making books again. And the first one that came in was this absolutely gorgeous book called Bound. And it's by Rachel Hazel. I think she's a Scottish woman, or at least she lives in Scotland. And it's a very, very tasteful, gorgeous book all about making small books and different ways of binding them. So over the course of the book, you learn lots of different ways of binding. And the very last one is one I would love to do. I think it might be Coptic binding at the very end. Where's a good picture of it? A little hardback book with Coptic binding. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's beautiful. No, she said it's a kettle stitch. Oh, she says it's a kettle stitch, but it looks a bit like Coptic binding to me. Anyway, I just love this book. I would love to work my way through this. I don't know if I have time because of my commitments and because at some point this is going to have to go back to the library, but I think it would be a lot of fun to work my way through that. And then today I popped out to get another one which came in on hold, and this is like the other end of the spectrum. The bound book is all about using new materials and making things with very beautiful paper and all that sort of thing. This is kind of the opposite. It's called Eco Books, and it's by Terry Taylor, Inventive Projects from the Recycling Bin. And just looking at the ones on the cover, there's one that has egg cartons as a cover. There's a book there which has an old cassette tape. If you're my age, you will have loved cassette tapes when you were in your teens. And this is so fun. And this is another one I would like to draw a lot of inspiration for. Here's the collection with the cassette tapes as covers. And then what else have we got? The author has even made book covers out of aluminum beer cans. Oh, I like this one. This is old credit cards, or, could be old loyalty cards, plastic cards of some kind. And then there's one made of an old CD case. Remember those? What else have we got? Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. They call this a coffee codex, and it's made of a candlestick and, hang on a minute, what else was it? Bamboo skewers, coffee liners. Isn't that just amazing? And then we've got all sorts of things. So there's even pictures in here of books that people have made from all sorts of things that are not the tutorial's not in the book, but I suppose it's just for inspiration. Look at the big chunks of wood that one's made of. Incredible. License plates, mouse pad, produce tray, junk mail journal. So many different ideas in here. So much fun. So little time. So let's just recap the project du jour, which was my diamond painting. Now that this has dried, I can't see where I had to use the gem tack to fix in the last few white gems, thankfully. And I completely forgot to ask anybody at work whether they add any sort of Mod Podge in there. But I can't help feeling that the teeny tiny gaps between the little gems where there's still sticky stuff is just a dirt trap. And maybe I will have to think about sealing it in some way. Mod Podge would probably work great for that. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do it. Yeah. So last week I made this a scrappy bag here, which is reversible, denim on one side and scrappy log cabins on the other. And guess what? It's now where my diamond painting is living. My diamond painting kit is in there, ready for me to tackle the next flower, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's not really a portable thing, I don't think, so it probably won't be coming to the island with me, Vancouver Island. I still have to figure out maybe a crochet project for that, but I will. So thanks for being here and watching to the end, or maybe fast forwarding to the end. Have you noticed that when you're watching a video and you fast forward through a section you don't think you want to watch in real time, YouTube says fast forwarding through commonly fast forwarded section. So I noticed that. Sometimes I'll go forward, skip that part. I think a lot of the time it's when someone has a sponsor for a video and they start talking about the sponsor, and you fast forward through a couple of minutes of video and you can see lots of other people have done the same thing. I hope you don't do that to too much of my video. But anyway, I know I go on a lot sometimes. I know I did chat a lot during that diamond painting section. But yeah, I like to share, and I hope you like spending time with me. So that's it for now. And I will hopefully see you again real soon. I'm hoping that tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'll get lots more crafty time. I know I've said that before, but seeing as I don't have spousal commitments while Mr. Stitches is away, I don't think there's any reason why I can't come down here and spend hours in here if I so choose. I hope you get lots of crafty time in your life this week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.